it's Lindsay from My Crafty Plans. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be setting up my goals and my monthly pre-planning spreads for the month of April. This is actually part 2 of my little goal setting mini series here for April. Since this was the end of the first quarter, beginning of the second quarter, I actually split up my reflections from March and Q1 as a whole, and that is a separate video. That video is already up on my channel now. You can check that out. I will link it above and also in the description down below. But for today, we're going to be jumping in to set up my April goals. I'm really excited for the month of April. We have so much fun stuff coming up, and I'm just feeling really awesome and really reconnected to my goal setting process after going through the quarterly review. So today's video is going to be completely tabletop, but I already had the camera out while I was filming my review session, so I decided to just do a little face front intro. I am going to flip it over to the tabletop in just a sec, and I'm going to jump right into a speed through, talk over, voiceover video of my monthly calendar spread and the decorative elements of my functional planner for the month of April. Then I'll switch back to a talk through process where I actually set up my goals from April using my annual goals, but also all of my notes from the quarterly review process, which were just so incredibly helpful. I highly recommend doing a quarterly goals review and refresh if you haven't already. It's just a really, really great way to reconnect to your goals and make sure everything is still working for you. And then I'm going to throw it back over to my functional planner to wrap up with my dashboard spread for the month, and then that's everything. So if you want to see how I set up my April goals, you can stay tuned.
This is an incredibly busy month for us, and it was honestly making me feel stressed not having this calendar set up. So I ended up doing this like a few days before I worked on my goals. I just really needed to get it done. I really quickly just showed you the stickers and stuff that I was going to be using, the color palette. I decided to use a journaling kit from Miss Meow this month. It was my birthday month, and I also just way overbought on spring kits, including some journaling kits, and like way more than I'm gonna need. So I decided to bring this in. Honestly, this was a great idea, and I might do this again. This is my favorite and most functional spread of like always. It just is. This is just such a functional spread for me, and I look at it all the time. So you know what? Having it a little bit more decorative and a little bit more stickery is not a bad thing, because it's only going to make me want to look at it more. And again, this is something I look at literally every single day. So, you know, I am cool with having it like fully decoed out and all of that stuff. I really loved these stickers from Miss Meow. They are on transparent matte paper, and that April sticker is actually just one that I had made myself a really long time ago, and I just found them while I was doing my sticker reorg earlier this year, and I decided to put them aside to use in monthlies, and I just think altogether it looks really nice. So I'm basically just putting down all of the decorations for this first, but the functionality of this is not changing at all, even though I use stickers instead of just pens and washi this month. I have 6 categories that I work with here. Better like categorize my life and keep my schedule very color coded, and they are work, appointments, kids, other, like planner, social media stuff, and finance. So those are my categories. Those haven't changed. I just set a color palette for them each month. I don't keep it like consistent throughout the year. It doesn't line up to the MakseLife colors, which those I do keep consistent on my dashboard spreads. I just kind of go with whatever the stickers or the washi or whatever theme I'm working with here. Then this month we are going on vacation, so I wanted to put that in. Honestly, I think that is why I was feeling so stressed about the schedule. We just had so many things like in calendar format that needed to be marked down, and I'm trying to like manage my work schedule around our vacation and the kids' spring break and all of that. So I really just wanted to get this all put down there, and I was just also really excited to mark a vacation in my planner. It's been a long time, so really, really very excited for that trip, and I really just wanted to get that down. So I'm just finishing up with like a teensy bit more washi and other decorative pieces, and then I'm actually going to start marking the events throughout the week. I used a Sharpie to write on top of the transparent matte paper in a couple different places. If you want to write on transparent matte paper, you need to use a permanent pen. So that's just like a tip if you are using stickers like that. The Sharpie, once it's dry, it stays on there and it doesn't smear. But similar to the Simply Gilded stickers, you just need to use a permanent marker. You're not going to be able to use like a regular gel pen or even a fine liner. You need something with a permanent ink. So the first thing I'm doing is putting down my husband's paydays and also my planned video schedule for the month, like my content thing. I'm going with a little bit lighter this month than I had been the past 2 months. One, my videos, I wasn't able to keep to my content schedule last month. It just became a little bit overwhelming with how much work I had and how much other stuff was going on. But then two, also just keeping in mind that we have a vacation week where I'm not going to be filming anything because we're going to be away, and then also just like some other family obligations and different things that we have, and I just wanted to go with a little bit lighter of a schedule this month, so I was returning to that more older schedule that I used to do where it's like a video every third day. So I think I'll be able to maintain that for this month, and that's actually going to be one of my goals, is to maintain that, so I am feeling good about that. And then I'm just going through and putting in some appointments and other things that I know we have a lot of like prep work that needs to be done for the trip. There's like a number of, travel restrictions that we're trying to manage since we are traveling internationally. And then also this month is also Passover. Like as soon as we get back from vacation, it's Passover, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into managing that since it's a holiday that has a lot of food restrictions around that. So I just wanted to make sure I also had that marked in my planner. We've got the kids' school schedules to manage. Spring soccer is starting. There's just a lot going on. My birthday is this month. We're not really doing anything for my birthday, which is totally fine. I am not a birthday person, but just wanted to make sure I had all of the dates that I do know in. The only thing is I totally forgot while I was filming this to put in some things from my work calendar. So I do go back off camera and add that in. So when you look at pictures on Instagram, you will see like my work in here. I just completely forgot about it while I was filming, which is so silly because that was actually part of the purpose of this, was managing the vacation schedule and my work schedule and using that to like think about how much I have time to get done this month. But anyway, you live and learn, and it's in there now. So sorry that I forgot to put that while I was filming. It's just like a couple of extra highlights and some notes. Then on this front page, I just made like a little decorative cover using some more of the stickers from the kit and also just some washi, just like kind of making a little cover page. I honestly this is usually like clipped shut, so I never really look at it anyways. I just like my planner to open right to the monthly spreads, so I tend to clip things together. But in case I ever wanted to look at it, and because I had some extra pieces of like washi and all of that good stuff, I mean not extra pieces, extra stickers and all that good stuff. And then I'm just going to put in like a little bit of washi down here, and I'm going to circle back to the dashboard at the end of this video before I wrap things up after I plan my goals, since that is how I set up my dashboard at the beginning of every month. But that is pretty much it for this little pre-planning setup of my monthly spreads.
Okay, so I have out my annual goals book from my quarterly companion notebooks, and I am going to open that actually right up to my annual goals so that I can look at that. Now I also have my Q1 quarterly companion notebook, which is now all finished, because what I have in here is, if you saw in my part 1 of this series, I did a Q1 goals sum up, thoughts, refresh, basically just reflecting on any changes that I wanted to make to my annual goals or areas that I really wanted to focus on for Q2. So I'm going to keep these two off on the side so that I can use these on a category by category basis to kind of go through my goals and set my goals for April. And then I'll probably keep doing that, assuming that it's working as I go through each of the months here. I love that these are all in separate notebooks. I didn't even think about how cool it would be to be able to look at my goals from the beginning of the year, my reflections on them from the first 3 months, and then be able to take a separate notebook or a separate companion notebook to get these set up for April. So I will be setting these up for April, and this part will be a talk through, and then I will jump back into my functional planner to get this translated into my dashboard for the month of April. So I'm actually going to start with the fun category, because this is obviously, if you saw from the calendar part, this is obviously going to be a really big main focus for this
this month because we have the vacation, which is amazing because that was one of our big annual goals. It was like my really big stretch goal, or one of my stretch goals for the year, was to plan this family vacation, and I'm so excited for it. I honestly just can't wait. So I am just gonna, honestly, the focus for this month is gonna be vacation, and I am really excited for that. So like the very first thing I am just going to write is enjoy the vacation. And then under that, I am gonna put like a couple of bullets around things that need to happen before the vacation that I need to do to enjoy the vacation, basically. So that's my number one goal for the month. But as part of that, let me grab a slightly different pen. This is my boldest gel pen, and this one is a 0.7. That one's a 1.0. Anyway, okay. So for related to that, you know, we just have to make sure that we have like that all of the appointments and setups, like it's obviously logistically a little bit difficult to travel right now with all the restrictions and everything. So we just have to make sure that we're on top of like all of that stuff. So this is going to be like a short-lived thing because the vacation is in the half of the month, but it's basically just going to be stay on top of the pre-trip requirements and just like the pack and prep for that. So then the other thing that I am gonna put in for this month is just the continuation of scheduling weekend fun. This is going really well for us, and it honestly, at this point, it's starting to feel like it's not like a very difficult thing, you know, that I actively have to think about it. I'm starting to do it a lot more naturally. It's feeling more like a habit, which is phenomenal. So I just want to keep that going though. So I will give myself the same 4 check marks to do one for each week there, because it's always nice to have something to check off. And I am just gonna highlight this. Oh, that pen like never dries because it's so juicy. I love the way that it writes, but it does always smear it with the highlighter. Okay, so I'm gonna circle back to personal. I'm gonna like try and focus on, I find that it's easier if I have something specific scheduled for that month, like a vacation or appointment, it's easier to start with those categories for me. And then it's easier for me to do the like easier categories first, if that makes sense. I don't know why that is, but I like to save the more difficult categories for last. So I'm gonna swing down to work and learning. This is not going to be a big focus area for me this month. So I'm not gonna, I'm just kind of pausing things a little bit here. I spent a lot of time in Q1 working on this area, and I just need like a little bit of a reset here. But that being said, I do have some like things coming up on this that I guess I need to think about. So it's a little bit of a pause on some areas while shifting focus onto other areas. Okay. I'm just going to say that the focus for this month, especially with the vacation, I'm just going to say like it's okay to status quo it. I have some stuff that's coming up in May that's like not status quo that I'll need to handle, but it's okay to just have a month where you're status quoing and saying this is not going to be, I'm already taking a week off to go on vacation. This is not going to be the month that I like really push myself, and that's totally fine. Okay. So what I'm going to say here is just like, okay, so I'm just going to say maintain anything that needs to be maintained. And I've just been having some conversations with folks that I used to work with and stuff like that. And I want to keep that going this month, but I'm just not going to focus on like growth or whatever. I'm just going to take it a little bit more easy this month, and that is totally fine. Okay. So then I am going to swing over to financial and physical environment, and then I'm going to circle back to the other 4, which are a little bit more changey. Okay, so for this month, for this whole quarter, we are going to be focusing on outside spaces. So I'm actually just going to even write that.
We've already got like a bunch of lawn maintenance and stuff like that scheduled, so that is good. Yeah, like I'm just gonna say like stay on top of the yard maintenance. This is like mostly scheduled, but if in case other things come up, then I want to focus, make sure I have that in my goals. And this is not something I actively need to do. It's something that we hired people to do, but I just need to stay on top of it. And then the other thing that we want to do this month is probably, hopefully, buy a swing set. Even if we don't buy it this month, like let's explore our options for outside, because this is something that I really want, and I'd really like to have this before summer and as the weather is getting nicer. So that is something that I want to do for this month. And then I just gonna say like maintain house and toys. This is going pretty well, and I don't want to focus on the inside spaces this month or like anything. I'm not gonna like push myself here. And then as part of my Q1 goals, thoughts, and refresh, I just decided to take a month off from like thinking about the master clean, and this maintenance schedule we're on top of right now, so I'm not worried about that, but I'm not gonna think about like the master cleaning list for a month. It's just like been a little bit stressful for me, and I don't feel like it's really helping. I did like a deep clean of the kitchen last month, so that was good, but I'm just gonna take the month of April off from that and then reassess in May, which is what I put to do in my notes, so we are good there. Then in terms of the financials, we just have our regular monthly checks, paying our taxes or finishing getting our taxes finished. And then we also have the quarterly checks, which this will be the first time this year I'm doing like this more formalized quarterly review of the finances. So we're gonna have monthly checks. That has been going fine, no big deal. Quarterly review. And taxes. All right, so that is all I need to do for that. Okay, so I think I'm gonna swing back over to family and relationships. This is an area, so as part of this Goals 1 refresh, I definitely check out part 1 if you want to see more of this. I basically rated all of the categories as like what I kind of like I said, continue, some focus areas, some things that I wanted to reframe, some areas where I wanted to pause and then just enjoy for fun because I want to. So that's kind of like what I'm thinking about as I'm putting in these goals for April and continuing forward. And then I have like notes around my specific annual goals in any ways that they're going well, not going well, want to change, want to focus on, want to like pause, etc. So that's basically what I did in my refresh and assess. So I forget what category I said I was working on. I think I said family. So this is one where I want to reframe. Now our screen-free time is going really well, but I feel like it's not enough. It's not enough to just say like, oh, we're going to spend family time together, like without the screen. Like I spend a lot of time reading to the kids. We have dinner together every night. I really want to focus on quality time and positive interactions. And that is really, I'm going to shift away from just saying like screen-free time every day. Like that's a habit at this point. We have a pretty rigid TV schedule that we don't allow that that we're pretty good at sticking to, like for I would say like 95% of the time. So I feel comfortable in like not putting screen-free time on my specific goal for the month, even though it's like one of my annual goals. But what I'm just gonna say is like, my focus is gonna be positive interactions. I like that. And I am going to this area is going to be like a little bit more not like check marky this month than it usually is. I'm just going to say, one, focus on quality time. I'm literally just going to write that. Okay, so I just wrote, I'm going to focus on positive interactions, quality time, positive interactions again, and also just like things I can control, try and keep my tone positive, not like get frustrated so easily when things aren't going well, and also just remembering that I don't need to micromanage every single situation with the kids. It's okay to just like let them be wild kids sometimes, and you know, just try and again reframe things in a positive way rather than like switching to frustration mode right away. So I'm really going to try and focus on that and like my reactions to things this month rather than, you know, saying like screen free time or anything like that. I think that that is going to be a little bit more helpful for right now. Okay, so then on to these two categories have like a little bit merged in my mind, and that's fine. But I'm going to focus on these like basically all of the health goals I have except for the ones around exercise are going super, super well. So I'm just going to put like kind of maintain those, but I would really like to focus on just bringing more movement to my life regularly, especially as it gets warmer. And I've just like been feeling pretty low energy and high stress in general. And I think that that's really going to help with that. So I would like to do that. Okay. So I'm just going to say for this goal, so I usually put like the appointments that I have in here. I don't know if like I really need to do that, but I've been putting when I have appointments. So I guess I'll put at the bottom, the kids have their well checks and I have my dentist. So that's 2 appointments that we have. I don't know why I put these in like my monthly goals. It's not really a goal, but I've been doing it, so I'll keep doing it. I'm just going to say like, I'm going to combine like all of these 3 annual goals, the proactive scheduling, routine, dental routine, and tracking my cycle. I'm going to combine those into like one goal, and just say like maintain the routines that are going well. And I'll just put teeth, scheduling. I took the teeth out of my habit tracker in my weekly spread, and I've still done it every day this year, so I'm feeling really good about that, and I don't really feel like I need to have something to check off for that. Okay, and then I am going to say my focus for this month is movement. And then I am just going to say establish an exercise routine. I've been like sporadically doing things. I had like a really good week in the last week of March for this, but it's just something that I really want to focus on. So I am going to do that. Okay. I will highlight these. Okay. So then related to that, this is just, again, similar to here, similar to the personal growth one. In this category, I am just going to focus on, well, de-stress. It's not always, right? Like, it's not like I'm a walking ball of stress all the time. I just like haven't been handling high stress days, moments, whatever you want to call them, well. Like when things are going well, they're going great. But when things are not going well, I have been just reacting to that really negatively. And that's what I want to focus on. It's not even like it's like a super frequent occurrence, but even if it's only like once a week or once or twice a week or, you know, an afternoon or whatever, it's too much. And I would like to be able to let some of that like stress and anxiety go a little bit easier. So I think that the fitness will actually really help with that. And I also just think like focusing on just reframing things mentally, and just really trying to have positive interactions even when I'm stressed. Basically just like, you know, I don't really know exactly what to do, but I'm just gonna say, so I just said focus on positive interactions even when I'm in a bad mood. And really a lot of that can kind of be paraphrased as like kindness first, be nice. I think of myself as overall like a kind person, but I am not always like a day-to-day nice person. I'm often like called on to be the bad guy in a situation, which is usually not a role I have a problem with, but I think that then sometimes you lean into that a little bit hard. So I'm gonna just try and focus, have a month where I kind of, I don't know, take a vacation from being the tough guy, being the bad guy, and just try and be nice for a month. We'll see what happens. And just also just like try and figure out some more de-stressors. I don't know, I'm really bad at, it's because when things are going well, it's so easy to forget that things ever didn't go well. But I'm just trying to, like, you know, you need to have the tools in place before things start going wrong so that you can kind of have the tools to do them. Okay, so personal goals. Okay, I don't really know what I want to do here. I'm gonna pause on like the creative stuff and just think more about that. I'm also gonna be gone for a whole week. So I am just gonna say, for this, I'm gonna like try and bring the weekly planning, which has gotten a little chaotic lately, like the actual pre-planning for the week, you know, making sure I have what I need set up, bringing that back into focus. My day-to-day planning has been really good. My like weekly pre-plan has been not so good. So yeah, I just want to bring that back into focus. I am actually going to say I'm going to make my first ever like YouTube type goal in this category, because that was one of my like thoughts and reflections from Q1, is just like it's okay to have goals around YouTube and Instagram like that. It's something that I really love and enjoy. It's my main hobby, so it's okay to have like goals around that and to just say that. So for this month, because I am going to be on vacation, I'm just going to say stay on top of my content calendar even while my like on vacation. Again, talk about growth next month, but I just want to like have my video schedule be maintained. I already laid it out in my monthly calendar, so I want to just be able to maintain that even with vacation. So that is good. And then the other thing that I wanted to put here is still, it's just, oh, actually I have two things I want to say, put here. So one, still like trying to establish my morning routine. And again, just get out of bed. I'm hoping once it's a little bit warmer, this becomes a little bit easier, but like I also just need to do it. So, and it's been so difficult. Again, another thing where I think that de-stressing and exercise may help me. Also, you know, not staying up super late and reading will also help me with that. But the other thing that I wanted to put here was just gonna say like, routine bounce back after vacation. So when you go on vacation, sometimes things like slip a little, and that's totally fine. It's totally normal. But I just want to make sure that when I do that after I get back, we just, you know, get back to it. That I don't, if I take some days off from my teeth because I didn't pack all my stuff with me, which is fine for a week, as soon as I get back, you know, get back on top of it, get back on top of everything, and try and bounce back quickly from our vacation. Okay, so that is it for my April goals.
So the last thing I have to do for this video for my April goals to feel complete is get my dashboard set up, and I'm starting with the video section where I just do my little content list for the month. I put in the videos that I know or videos that are carrying over from the previous month, and then leave space for the other videos I have. And lately what I've been doing is counting out how many videos, like making a content plan for the month ahead. If I don't stick to it exactly, that's okay. But one of my goals for this month obviously is to actually stick to this content plan despite the vacation, which this is like walked back. It's less videos than I did the past 2 months. So I am confident that I will be able to stick to it, especially with all of the pre-work that I've done, like going at the beginning of this month and heading and towards the end of March. So anyway, then the other categories I have in here is I have a little section for things that need to be scheduled. The to-do list section, what I do is I put in all of the action items from my monthly goals that are like finite tasks that you could check off when they're done, and I put that in the to-do section. And then I have a little separate breakout for my work specific projects. That tends to not be things from my goals, but rather like the actual work that I get paid to do that I'm working on, not like my bigger picture work goals, if that makes sense. And then the last section in my little notes area, I have converted that to be like my habit thoughts for this month, for every month. And I actually changed up how I structured that one just a little bit. I took out all of the things that are like monthly habits and I just put those into the to-do list section because I wanted more space to focus on my weekly and daily habits. And then I'm just going to divide that section into two. I was just looking to see what I did before and what my old habits were, since I kind of shifted how things were set up in my goals around habits this month. And I just made like a weekly list and a daily list, and I marked all of the various habits. I'm not going to be putting these in my habit trackers every single week. Just depends on the specific habit, but I wanted to have them all listed out because even if I'm not marking them every day, like with a check mark, they're still my daily habits. It's just some of them, like my dental routine. I don't feel like I need to keep that in my planner anymore. That being said, I want it in this overview section so that when I sit down every week, if I say, hey, you're not doing so great on that anymore, let's add that back into the habit tracker. And that's basically how this little section functions. I find it really easy to just have this right here in case I'm ever like struggling to remember what habits I was focusing on or how I want to focus on them for the rest of the month, etc. It's just really helpful to have them in this specific planner, which is why I've started that. And then I'm just going to color code them with the same color coding as my MakseLife, just which category in my goals they apply to. Even though I don't use the MakseLife color coding in my like monthly calendar, in my weekly spreads, I do use it in my dashboard. This page is just like this is the transition page from my MakseLife goal setting to my functional planner. That's what this spread has become. It's just like a translation. It's the talking point between the two. It's how the planners speak to each other. This in combination with the weekly action items, obviously. But I just find this like really, really helpful to have in the MakseLife colors.
All right, that is everything for all of my April pre-planning spreads as well as my April goals. I am feeling so good having this all set up and I cannot wait for the month of April. It's honestly just such an exciting month. So I'll just give one last flip through of all of my April spreads. So here is my cover page, my monthly calendar. This might be my favorite calendar ever. It's so stunning. I just absolutely love these stickers and I'm just so excited for this month. And then I have my line a day set up as well as my dashboard here. And then of course, to go with this, I do have my April monthly goals. I'm really, again, just so excited to have this all set up. I'm ready to jump in like full speed here. Next week will actually be a plan as I go video. So that video will be up I think on April 12th, which will be, I will be on vacation, but you can enjoy the plan with me for the week ahead of this. But anyway, if you like this video, definitely let me know in the comments down below and don't forget to like it. Please subscribe if you haven't already and check me out on Instagram at MyCraftyPlans to stay up with everything going on in my planners. Bye!